Alright, I apologize for this. This is the after effect of a cold right before I'm done with it. Almost done with it. This is like all that remains. Real quick, I want to make a note. The Seahawks signed Ken Lucas, reuniting him. We had him during the first part of his career for I think 3 or 4 years when he was we drafted him, and he left after 2004, went to Carolina, spent 4 years there. He was good for 3 of those years, but last year he was complete trash. Was a huge part of their playoff loss, and they let him go, and now he's here again. So we have him back, with how bad he was last year, because make no mistake, he was atrocious last year. It's hard to get too excited about him, but I know what he's capable of because he was good with us, was good with Carolina at one point, so maybe there's something there. And we signed Justin Griffin. I don't care about that because I think we already have a fullback on the roster who's going to start, Owen Schmidt. It's probably just a depth signing in case Schmidt doesn't work out or Schmidt gets hurt, but I really don't think anything of Justin Griffin. Just getting that out there. Playoffs. Last 2 days have been pretty good. Hawks beat the Heat 81-71, getting that road win. It was a weird game because a lot of players on the Hawks didn't, it was kind of like Joe Johnson didn't shoot well. Mike Bibby led the team with 15 points, so nobody was scoring big. They kind of got little contributions from everybody, and it all came together. They played really good defense. I mean, Wade played solid. I think he had like 22 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. So he played pretty well, but, I think they shut down Jermaine O'Neal. He didn't play that well. They took out Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley pretty much did nothing, and it's really hard for this Miami team to win if Michael Beasley gives them nothing. And, it was kind of a weird game to watch because, again, nobody on the Hawks was playing really well offensively other than Pachulia, who had like 18 rebounds or something, but they got the win. Series is evened up. The Hawks have home court again, going back to Atlanta. I still think Miami wins in 7. I actually always thought that would be what would happen, so it's going to be good. The Nuggets, Hornets, I don't have any words for that. Just embarrassing. And I know some Hornets fans on a message board, and I just what can you say about that? There's really not much you can say about this game. Everybody on the Hornets was awful. Nobody stepped up. Chris Paul was bad. West wasn't able to get his usual. The entire bench, the bench has always been bad, but tonight, man. Everybody on the Nuggets seemed to make plays and play well. I don't know where else to go with that. That was just embarrassing. Just bad to watch. I don't even know. I mean, Byron Scott has to go. I think that team doesn't like him very much. I think he needs to go. And the Lakers finished off the Jazz. And I think we have our verdict. Lamar Odom is better off starting for this team. Gasol starts at center. Lamar starts at power forward. And Bynum is the backup center. Powell's the backup power forward. That's the best lineup the Lakers can have right now. Odom is a monster at rebounding. He frequently goes off in scoring. So, and then you have Bynum, who just, I'm going to make a little bit of an excuse for him this series, simply because the Jazz didn't have a true center. Because for a while they were starting Jaron Collins and bringing in Paul Millsap and maybe playing Carlos Boozer a little bit at center, because they were down on, they didn't have Mehmet Okur, and Mehmet Okur's not a traditional center, so Bynum wasn't really able to play his game because Bynum is a traditional center. So he was matching up against non-traditional centers or power forwards playing center, so he was taken out of his element. The next series he's going up against Yao Ming, and I'm sure Yao Ming will outplay him because Yao Ming's a better player, but he will have a better matchup, so just throwing that out there. tonight I didn't get to really watch the games because I was at school, but Celtics Bulls is the gift that keeps on giving. Went into overtime, the Celtics won. Rondo, amazing performance. Perkins, 20 rebounds. Pierce played pretty well, nice rebound game after he kind of struggled a little bit in the last one. And you know, I expected Boston to win this game, but I thought it would be because Paul Pierce took over and scored like 45. And as time goes by, it becomes more and more apparent to me that Paul Pierce just doesn't have it in him to take over a game like that. He can still play well in pretty much every game, but he does not have it in him to score 50 and win a game by himself. I don't know if he's, you know, he's probably old, tired from this long season, but I don't know if he has it in him anymore. We'll see Game 6, because Game 6, I'm thinking maybe that'll be the time when Paul Pierce just explodes. You know, the Bulls had this game. I mean, they had a good lead near the end. They were making plays, a couple minutes left, and then Boston just came back on it on the strength of, you know, Rondo and Pierce. So I saw some of that championship mentality with them, and I respect that, because I hadn't seen it very much in the first 4 games. I mean, I saw it a little bit, but only when they, you know, it wasn't coming enough. The Magic beat the Sixers pretty handily. Dwight Howard had 24 points and 24 rebounds, so he was a monster. With every game, I'm getting more and more sick of Hedo Turkoglu. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 dimes tonight. Just, why is he taking all the clutch shots for this team? It's not working. Gotta move on. Rashard played well. It's good to see him come around because he's got some consistency issues. Courtney Lee got hurt and didn't come back, so that's bad because he's been playing well this series. That broke my heart because Courtney Lee's been a really important player. The Spurs finished off. Props to Tim Duncan. I think this will be the last season in which Tim Duncan is a dominant player, along with Kevin Garnett. I think both of them are going to turn into, you know, very good players next year, but they're not going to be dominant. And he gave everything he had tonight. I didn't think he had it in him. 30 points, 8 rebounds. That's about as good as you can hope for. So he did everything he could. Parker obviously did everything he could. 26 points, 12 assists. Was not enough. But those two guys gave it everything they had. The Spurs just didn't have enough to finish it off. Dirk finally had his best game of the series. 31 points. He played great. Dampier, double-double. Barea got the start. Played pretty well. Kidd played okay. Terry and Howard played solid. So in this elimination game, the Mavericks got the job done because everybody did what they were supposed to do. When Mark Cuban put together this team, he was kind of thinking to himself, I'll bet, I expect this from this guy, this from this guy, I want this from this guy. I think in today's game, he got this from every guy on the team. You know, except for the complete scrubs, but that's going to happen sometimes. Trailblazers staved off elimination. Kind of I don't really know too much about this game because I didn't get to watch any of it because I would have been able to, and I don't have NBA TV, so it's kind of a weird situation for me, but from what I can tell, you know, it was just a solidly played game. Ron Artest could never get it going. They couldn't really get anything offensive. They couldn't get any offensive stars going. You know, Scola played all right. Yao played pretty well, but you know, the Trailblazers just played solid. I mean, they actually didn't need Brandon Roy to explode in this game. They just got a good game from him. They got a good game from Aldridge. Just, you know, solid games all around, and it won the day. They played good defense against Houston. They couldn't. Obviously, it was a fairly low-scoring game, and I don't know, I'm just not interested in that series, so that's all. Tomorrow, we got the Heat playing the Hawks. Huge game. Game 5 in Atlanta. I don't know, I'm thinking Atlanta wins this. Miami wins Game 6, and I think Miami will win in Atlanta Game 7. But it's going 7. And I got the Nuggets finishing off the Hornets. Won't be as bad as the 58-point loss, but I do think the Nuggets will win. That's it. See ya.